Because after that, I'll check whatever I've done with people in general on Zoom, so I know exactly what's going on. But now you are recording. Okay. So I released these two GPTs because no matter where we we can't ignore the fact that Facebook is going to need a lot of ads, and a lot of ads is how do we create them more efficiently and better. And I created this ad builder, and the idea of this ad builder is Facebook want diversity. How do you get diversity? A lot of us can find it hard to reach. You guys are seeing the screen with the GPT ad builder, correct? Okay, I had to make sure. So when we're talking about how do we get diversity, you have to be able to talk to different type of people who may buy your books or may buy your product, and I figured that would be hard for you guys. So what I created is this tool, which I'm gonna go through it quickly because I have a video of it, but I do not have the video on the ad analyzer, which I think is going to be useful. So when it comes to how you use this is the idea is whether you believe you can put your book in chat gpt and you don't want that information out there, that's subjective, but however you use it, as long as you give it a lot enough information, you enter it in here, it's going to help you build the ideal type of audience when it comes to who you're trying to sell to. So let's say let's say I say this book is a fiction book. The title is let me pull a random person. Who want to use theirs? Give me the link in the title of your book. Anyone? Put it in the chat and I will grab the title of it. If you could give me your Amazon URL, um, the title of the book, or even the link of the book, and then your Shopify URL. I see you're typing, Ida. Is though you putting it in there? You still on mute.
Yeah, I'll go ahead. Why not?
Okay. So
Amazon.
while she's entering that information, this will help you come with some angle to build the ad. But in the last few days, a thing which we started building internally, ours is more robust. This is as close as I can get. Is when you create an ad, it helps you kind of review the ad so you can see how to improve the ad so it can get better conversion. So far the ads we've launched using this has gotten us better results. We're still testing, but it's an idea of what can how can I help you? So every time you do these things, it's a lot cleaner. Just a quick example of what this, kind of the improvement this thing can do. There is so for instance, I created some of these ads, right? So these ads were supposed to be just lifestyle ad that kind of pitch over the book. And before, when I would create them and they would convert, I would create them like this. Like, let me put a UGC, let me put the book cover, and then kind of make it just simple so the person could be curious enough to click. So this is for the same title versus with the book. One of the things the ad analyzer forced me to do is to add certain social proof, to add certain clear call to action, is to add different things that improve this. Where this ad initially came from having this line, which we've seen convert, to adding kind of these layers on there, or even just making better recommendation when it comes to these ads. And it's the same thing with whenever I created something in Creative OS login. Ida, did you send? Oh, there was a everyone. I was on my note taker.
I sent him in the chat.
Yes, you did. I totally missed that. So
Can I ask a quick question?
Hmm.
You've got these ad builders for inside Chat GPT, but how do we get those in our Chat GPT account?
Oh, these are GPTs that once you click on the link, you get access to it. They're
Oh, in the
available.
school. Okay,
So
got
if
you.
you go into school, um, I reframed everything in the classroom.
Okay.
So if you go into school, you go into classroom, AI helper. Each of them you could click on the link to access them. I put the ad builder, not the other one, and then there's a video on how to use them.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
No problem. So it's the same thing. Okay, so right here, fiction book, URL, Amazon link, and this is a Shopify link. And what you say your ideal audience is? Say it in one sentence.
Women aged approximately 35 to 65.
Women 35 plus, and what are the things that they like? Like in one sentence, like women who like crazy.
Edge of your seat thrillers with strong female characters.
You said what?
Edge of your seat mystery thriller with strong female characters.
Edge of your seat. What was the last part?
Mystery thriller
Mystery thriller,
with strong female characters.
strong female characters. I'll say women 40, 35 plus. Uh, who love. Shopify. And then usually you want to give it more information. So for me, I'm putting my own book information in there, the actual file. Um, wasn't able to get directly from the Amazon. Um, okay, so we'll go with that. But before I do, could you please confirm briefly summary of just two sentences? The main character and her emotional journey.
Um, couldn't we just use the blurb and put the blurb in there?
So what? That is actually better. Let me go to the Amazon link instead. So then we could put everything on the Amazon. It's still the same thing too. That's interesting. I could not pull the Amazon thing. Let's see this. Okay, so that was enough for it to grab it. So when it comes to these, it's going to give you two different type of answers. There's one that is geared towards like an emotional component of it, and then it's going to have a trigger that we're adding that's going to do fiction where it's focusing on reader type. So right here, it's saying it's more of the emotional one, and I will tell it, let's also create personas around um readers archetypes. So right here you could have where it's like the justice seeker. Here's a core emotional. Draw, righteous anger, catharsis through justice serve, satisfaction of truth, and courage prevailing in a world that looks in a way. Feisty, analytical, loyal, wants to see bad men fall and good women win. Okay. So right here it's telling you, okay, this is kind of the self-talk they have in their mind, which part of why it has this is telling you, okay, what kind of ads can I write that are towards these group of people? And also too, for anytime you use this, it will tell you what part of the funnel. The reason it has part of the funnel, ultimately what Facebook is that you don't have to have ads that are focusing on cold audience. You don't have to have them broken down into campaign, but when you have one campaign, you want to have an ad that's focused on finding new people, an ad that's focused on talking to existing people. So in all of it, it will tell you what kind of angle, what type of stage that it fits in, and then it's going to bring you and kind of give you this information. So it says for here for reader persona, same thing with the it does have the justice seeker again, but it says why she reads. She's smart, sharp, leads, take control, not victim or warrior. Listen to thriller and audible is one of her ritual, and then blah blah blah. So what happened is that whenever you have this, let's say you go with number two, um, proceed with number two. Um, So whenever you pick it, it's going to give you a bunch of messaging and angles in terms of how you can utilize it. What I'm personally doing is taking these in a sheet and putting them and then highlighting them every time I go through them. I kind of break them down and move to the next one. So once you have the personas and you pick which angle you want to pick, like I said, it's gonna give you 10 here. You can start with number one for this week, and then you build like 5 ads around it. Then you go to number two, and once you have those, now you have again kind of a system for you to create ads. And then lastly, you said, okay, what I have these angles. I want to focus on curiosity. Let's just 7, 8, and 9. Um, Once you do that, it's going to start giving you ideas in terms of what kind of ads you can create. It'll start with kind of hooks, and then it'll suggest some headlines, and then it'll suggest some copies. And then part of it is you want to read them and make it give you variations and different things about it. Um, but ultimately, even there, I added some barriers for you. Like if it creates some ads and you think they're good, you could easily put it now into the ad analyzer and say, okay, this is the ad that I have. How can I fix it? So right here, it has two different ads. It's like he's still in prison, but she's not safe. Evil doesn't knock, it whispers. Justice has a shadow. She's about to walk through it. So you can use those to create the ad, the kind of the visual for the ad, and if they don't work, you can also continuously have conversation with it. It'll stay within the parameters of what we ask and say, okay, let's improve these. Let's maybe give me different variations of hooks. So then it will produce more. Now, just so I stay exactly on time, I'm not trying to talk too long about, but going some more to questions. So it'll create, there go a different variation of hooks it'll create. He's behind bars, but she's still not safe. What if the man you trusted most is your stalker? Is that even, first, let me ask you, are those sounding accurate to your story to start with?
Most of them are, yeah. Some of them are, they're just making stuff up, but
That will happen because it doesn't
yeah.
fit the file, but that's why you check it. So once it gives you those, and let's say it writes the ad, this is where you come in the ad analyzer, analyze this ad. And then you could put this is the ad copy. Yeah, ad copy. And then you could say here, this is the headlines. Um,
The one you added in there is actually really good.
okay, we'll work with that. Throw real headlines. How about this? I'll just take this headline for. And by the way, I'm using a trackpad as a mouse, and it was not the best option for today. But my mouse died right before. So this is my mouse here, which is so if you see me trying to click and I keep coming off, that's it. So here we have the ad here. I explained this in 2 minutes to be exactly at 1:30. So we have the ad, and it says, okay, this ad, it nails the suspense, and part of the analyzer, you still want to try to feed it that information before you do it. It will kind of give you a score in terms of what it's missing and what is going, what's not working. So, for instance, this one has a persuasion score of 51%. I guarantee, not guarantee you, but I could tell you we launched a few ads where we dismissed this, and all of the ads did not perform. And I was amazed how well I was like, oh, okay, I'm gonna listen to what I built. So what we're seeing, there are different components when you have an ad that automatically works, which is why certain ads performance, some don't, but you just have to know how to mix it. So for instance, right here it says there's no scarcity. You don't need scarcity, but if you happen to have signed copy or limited edition, this is a place you do so. It doesn't have urgency. Some of the times you don't, but for the holidays, you may say, okay, I need to add some urgency. Social proof. This has 1,300 reviews. It's probably ideal to say 1,300 other women have read this or find this enjoyable. Clear call to action. It doesn't tell them where to go. But when it comes to emotional resonance, it's there. And then when it comes to the audience fit, it's there. So it's perfect for psychological thriller fans, and tone and theme aligns. So now you can come to this and say, okay, this has a persuasion score. It's gonna include like a rewrite. So the rewrite is Elizabeth Strong thought she escaped, blah blah blah, and then it added this. Strong Motive is a gripping psychological thriller for fans. Man, I will stop and say fiction readers love saying for fans of this person, for fans of the. So it already knows I don't like it, but it knows. So now it's a okay, start reading now before secrets catch up to her and you get your copy Strong Motive. So adding kind of like these components, which right here, it's a message that more directly to the audience, and then adding the CTA and improve it. So now you can tell chat like, okay, here's a trust social proof. Amazon top 100 psychological thriller. That might be incorrect. You want to verify them. This is where you kind of feed it information. Use reader quote overlays. Hard stopping twist every page. Good read reviewer. You may want to grab a review from there. So ultimately, it helps you craft better ads without just launching things here. And my final thought on there is that these two tools, I created them simply because I noticed how much work it took for us to create ads. And this was ideal to say, okay, here you are. It's going to give you what to test. So every week you're not wondering what you're gonna do in your test. It's giving you information. But also on top of that is that if you have AI, you want to do text overlay, you want to do carousel, this is structured to give you all of that, where it says turn your favorite hooks into a UGC script. Let's go into UGC scripts. And I take those and I have I remember showing you guys Archives AI. Not Archives, but so it gives you one right here you could put into not Chat GPT, but Archives. So you know that feeling when finally think the danger is behind you, that you can breathe again? Yeah, that's where Strong Motive starts. Something like that. And then it goes and the person going and pitch their book. What I'm doing with those is taking them into all of my AI tools and saying, hey, I'm going to feed you these words. You just have to have the AI say it. So the last one that I did was for mine. um, everything she's saying.
So I did something weird. I started what I'm calling a breakup cleanse. No stalking, no texting, no pretending I'm okay, just quiet, boundaries.
So I could show you the whole thing. Now you have
So
people to help you pitch it. And lastly, you can create like, part of what we're seeing with social media in general is that, yeah, there's videos of testimonial of people talking about the book, but also there's video that tell the stories about what you're doing without it. And you could easily, I literally just copy the prompt from my list and then build this exactly. Pretending, just healing that actually lasts. So that's a lot in one. Again, this will be available in Classroom, but just know you have help now in terms of how we're going to beat this whole Andromeda and having to create a bunch of ads. Let me pause for questions and also going into your problems. Hopefully, this was useful enough. Okay, let's start with questions about this and then about your struggles.
Was somebody else on? Hey, I had a quick question, if I can jump in. So if we were not gonna, okay, so everything you just laid out, thinking about all that, and if we were going to take, a variety of those hooks, well, no, let me ask this. If we were going to take should we take one series of hooks and captions, use the same hook and caption and change out the images and make them, make that same hook and captions with the same images and maybe turn that into a video? Like, is that the idea, or should we actually vary the entire thing because obviously there's going to be a lot to work with, So I guess I'm just trying to figure out, how much are we actually testing? Are we testing every element? Or are we trying to isolate elements?
So the thing with Andromeda is that it doesn't really focus too much on the elements. So oh, go ahead. You were saying something? I'm sorry. No. Um, no, when it comes to Andromeda, one of the most difficult part about it is that it has the ability, no matter how many variation of the ads that you have, to recognize it a bit quicker. So when it comes to how you test them, it's going to be based on budget. So if you have a bigger budget and you really focus long term and you want whatever angle you're testing, you want to make sure you cover all your bases with the angle. You may want to make multiple version of it from that angle. Like this one, I released like 4 different type of images around the bundle. But this one, I'm sorry, this one actually has different messaging versus the other one had the same similar messaging in a bunch of them. That's because I know for her, she already does well with ads. I want to have a complete library of good, diverse ad so we can scale her. She's already a 7-figure author. Versus if you have budget and Facebook, your budget's a little tight, Facebook has been kicking you on the face, and you want to figure it out quicker, this is where you could probably just say, look, I'm going to test all 3 of these angles at one time, where, I'm going to make 5 different ideal images, or let's say not even 5 different ideal images, where you could say, hey, I'm going to take this angle, I'm doing one lifestyle image, one UGC, one AI talking, one text overlay, and then launch it versus making 4, lifestyle, 4 UGC, etc. That making one type of ad for that one angle and launching all of them, not necessarily care about the variety. I'm sorry. That's a quicker route because you're like, okay, I want to test this, whichever one went, I move over next angle. So it all depends on your budget. Does that answer the question?
Yeah, it does. That's really helpful. Thank you.
No problem.
I have a quick question. I think hopefully it's quick. So, first of all, this is awesome. The only thing that I could see that would help me, because I'm a copywriter, so I got the text part of it. Although this is great, this makes it so much easier. Oh my gosh! So I'm so excited. Where I struggle a lot is with graphics. I noticed you had visual. You did have visual cues, like a couple sentences, but like that's where, but which, and I can follow that for sure. But the more, if you want to, if you're going to do a DDR ad builder 2.0, more picture ideas would be great. Um, and then the other question I have is, okay, so if I picked one of those angles, like, okay, we picked like number 6, the Persona 6, I do 5 ads for Persona 6. I put those 5 ads in their own campaign. And then if I wanted to do Persona 7, I would do 7 ads for Persona 7 and put that in its own campaign, or not campaign, ad set. Is that
Yeah.
so I've got one campaign, then I got ad set 1. This is Persona 6. This is 5 different angles. And then, so that's what you're saying. So each one of those angles with the 5 different variations goes in its own ad set. Then I start a new ad set with new angles. Or am I
Exactly.
just dumping them all into one ad set?
You're dumping, no, separate them, because
Okay.
what
Oh, that's what I meant. Yeah, like the different places where they are that's where I was following. Like you've got some on the top of the funnel, some in the middle of the funnel. So all of those should go in their own ad set. Facebook's got wherever they are in the funnel, they can show the right ad, correct? Am I following you? All
yeah.
right, I think I finally got this ad set thing figured out. How to organize my ads. This is really, yeah, I'm used to dumping everything into one and I was trying to figure out how to sort it out. So, okay. Thank
So
you.
here's why dumping everything into one right away doesn't necessarily work. I'm seeing it all the time, which kind of a recommendation is to test in a different campaign. Is that Facebook will choose to not spend money on the ads that have won. So for instance, just let me finish this thought first.
Okay.
One is like that's exactly what I mean. Like yesterday I launched this. This is like today hasn't done anything yet. It still has time to close. But yesterday I launched this. That was all of the angle where this is loyalist, salesy, loyalist, I mean lonely, loyalist.
So each one of those is hitting a different target, a different place where they are in the funnel.
Yeah. So ultimately it will refine. So what you will essentially come in and look, and I just did this yesterday with this account too, is that
Oh, got it. The audience segments. Okay.
like right now it's hitting nothing but engaged people. I mean, no, it's only 2 sales, but it's hitting engaged people. So once it get fully tested, I'm gonna know like, okay, this is like a good retargeting idea. So I know I have a retargeting ad that did all the work. Versus if let's see, I think I have another ad that I tested, but ultimately, like let's say this ad set, this is a testing ad set. This is what it was supposed to look like. I did a testing, I didn't start it last month. I did a testing a different batch. Out of this batch, nothing really worked. I allow them to spend a few amount of money, and then I moved. This ad had won, and this ad grabbed some, but I'm not necessarily sure why. This one, I was like, wait, why the heck I spent $50? I didn't get results. Maybe it needs to be placed. Now I wouldn't tell you to over analyze it like this, just whatever give you data move. So I did take this one and that one and move it over. But the thing
Okay.
about the ads, like I think even in here, was it, let's see, maximum on here. So like this, it did give me this ad here that it received 2 purchases at $27. When I move it into the main campaign, it was not getting spent. But we realized that I think last week I talked about it, how different, like it will be next month, and the ad that wasn't getting enough spin. If it's not getting spin at all, turn it off. But if it wasn't getting enough spin, it just randomly start taking off and getting all of the attention. So part of it is this is why you want to make sure you let them run their course, but you don't automatically build them and then put them in the main campaign because they may never come to life.
Got
It's a weird phenomenon. I'm trying to get answer into why, but it doesn't work.
That's why you want to start in the testing and then so start the campaign, start in the testing, and then if it works, then move it into the winning campaign.
Correct.
Got it. And then how much? So I've got my spend is lower, but I got like $25 in the testing and $25 in the winning campaign. Should I
They'll
say?
find a different budget. Again, this author don't mind. That's why I can't use all clients because of recording, but also too, He's trying to spend 2-3 grand a day. That's a
Oh,
whole
all right. Okay. Well, that's not. So what
yeah.
would you recommend? Okay. I say this because it's like, oh, $500. Okay. So what would you recommend for somebody with a little bit of a low, I'm okay. I'm absolutely okay spending money once it's working, but I've been burned on these things before. So I'm trying to ease my way into it. It's so far, this month has been great. I have to say, I'm really making money on it, which is exciting. Hopefully it lasts, but I mean, would it be like $50 for a winning campaign, $25 for testing, or do I keep them the same? That's what
I
I'm
would,
trying to get a handle on.
if you don't have enough quality ads, I would do half of the
Half testing, half, and then double winning. Is that what you're
yeah,
thinking?
so
Or the
like if you say 50 and then 25, I would do that. But if you have a lot of winning campaigns and you say your budget is going to be $100 a day, it's okay to make only like 20% of your budget the testing. Because the idea here, we have to be able to keep pumping out new ads on Facebook. If you're not, it's going to die out. Like I'm seeing my ads die out because I haven't worked on my account. I've been touching everyone else's and building this, and I just see the decline. So creative output, the whole idea of bringing something a week is going to be useful, but you have to, in the beginning, you have to prioritize testing. Well, let's say you get a good 5 to 7, 10 ads that as long as they're together, they're going to produce results. Then now testing become not of absolute necessity, but it's always a necessity, but there's less weight on there, if that makes sense.
okay. So the winning ad should have so if I'm going to double something, that's the winning one, and keep like the testing at like $25 and put the
Yeah.
money in with that. Got it. All right. This is very helpful. Thank you.
And then to another thing to be mindful about testing, I don't have the final data to finalize this type of thing, but what I've been doing is you can tell on some of those if they've spent like $30, $30 to $50 and got me no results. I'm like, you ran your course. That's not enough data to say like an ad is amazing, but that's enough of a signal for you to say, okay, I need to move this in a better environment. So yeah.
That makes sense. All right. I appreciate that.
Yeah. Next question.
Hey, Pierre, I have a question in regards to dupes for creatives. So if you're doing the structure where you're taking 3 different personas and thus 3 different ad sets, would you ever dupe the same creative? Like you have a book cover, so persona 1, you match it with a book cover, persona 2, you match it with the same book cover, 3, you match it with the same book cover and do that sort of split testing? Or
Yeah.
should we just not bother and instead create very unique ones specific to the personas?
This can be as detailed as you want it to be. And that can, I'll answer that later question, but it can be, so what's the best way to respond to this? One of the best ways to say is, if you want longevity, this is not what I meant to do. If you want longevity, and you have enough budget, take your time with each of them. So here's why, and I'm going to answer. So here we have a list of personas, right? And let's say for Morgan, we have a list of personas. So I can easily come right off the bat and say, let me test these 13 type personas, and I'll be good. But the thing about that is that you eventually gonna run out of creative quickly. It could give you a signal of which persona is stronger, but you're gonna run out of creative quickly. So with every persona, I say that it gives you 10 angles. So if you're gonna do the book, you can do the book per personas, but I would rather the book per angle. And yes, one, if you're testing this angle here, yeah, you want to have the book cover. Maybe there is going to be ads where it's like this is just strictly the book cover. So that's a base. And its creative type is a base. UGC is a base. AI UGC is a base. Book flipping through is a base. So every angle and every persona, you want to make a variation of those, if that makes sense. So So yes, all these message angles should have one that's it's the book cover, however you place it. All of them should have someone repeating the script that comes from there. All of them should have a lifestyle kind of concept. Does that answer your question and does that make sense?
I think so. So if I were to use the same book cover, I can just change the written text messaging to at least be consistent with that angle.
Yes. So
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
okay, good. So like for the quick thing is like this idea that I'm using, which is really this is the hook that these words then just comfort me. They called me back to myself. I'm adding different variation here, still in the same group. The whole like I this is a little bit deeper because I'm trying to find I need a lot of ads for her to get her to spend 5, 10, 20 grand a day. Um, so here I'm speaking to all different type of audiences, if you can tell. Younger Hispanic woman, black woman, older, supposed to be older Hispanic woman, older white woman. So I'm speaking to different demographics in that sense, but I still need to create ads for this where it's a bundle ad, same language. It's then the AI UGC, which we already launched for these, same difference kind of like, yeah, so this fall within the same angle too.
I had so much to say, but didn't know where to start. I tried journaling, praying, venting, but nothing helped me feel lighter. Then I found this bundle. The tears that taught me gave me the words for what I'd been feeling.
Yeah. It's not edited. Once it's edited, you see it. But yeah, makes sense, right? This makes sense in my head. I always want to make sure it makes sense in you guys' head. Right? Okay. I was waiting for Willie. Yeah.
Yeah, got it. Thanks.
Okay, good. Okay, next question, and then I'll throw Craver your answer. But who has the next question?
I have a question about TikTok because I start running my first ad and I target US and Canada and I get a lot of views on Canada, but very small number in US. Should I split in two ads targeting different countries?
This can be a hard answer. Here's why. If you start with US and Canada, US and Canadians have similar behaviors, but they're not essentially the same. Their finances, their response, all of them can be different. I've seen that with US, Australia, and the UK. They're similar, but they're not. They're all would be different. If you do, it will most likely revert to the market with the most people that's going to get the easiest sales. So if the US is yielding more sales, it's probably going to go there. If Canada is, it's never essentially the system will focus so much on that country, but it's harder to scale long term because you're gonna have to split them later where you're like, okay, I'm making 100 grand in the US, I need 100 grand in Canada. Versus this will be like, let me get sales wherever I can instead of strategically extracting reels from each country. So you have to look at what is your budget. Now, I will say when you're doing two country, you're casting a wider net. It can take longer. Although if your Canadian buyers happen to be cheaper, it doesn't feel like you're casting a wider net because it's not taking $100 in the US and $100 in Canada to get results, but it's taking $100 in the US and only $50 in Canada. So you're spending $150 to get, let's say, 5 sales versus in reality, if you would have solely focused on Canada, you would have gotten double of that. And if you focus on the US, you probably get the same result. So does that explain it and give you a better direction?
It gives you more angles to look from. So I'll try. It's my first ad. I'm just learning the process, so I'm trying to figure out. So you gave me some ideas what to look for. Thank you.
Are those physical copies or you're starting with ebook?
With physical copies.
Physical copies, I can tell you right off the bat, it's always easier to start in your place, like in your country. So for instance, for me, I know the US is better. Once you come to Canada, there's different pricing for shipping.
Mhm.
So, but yeah. Sorry, I'm logging into my Klaviyo because Matthew had a question about Klaviyo.
Yes.
But yes, that helps, Gabby.
Yeah, it helps so far. I'm still learning, so for now I'm just absorbing whatever you're saying about Facebook and TikTok and GPT and all the stuff. So it's enough for now. Thank you.
No problem. Sandy, while I'm still getting in Klaviyo, let's tackle what you mentioned.
Okay. With TikTok, I guess I have two questions. One quick one. I need to get more than one photo into my even Shopify and TikTok product accounts. I think you have mostly like flat lays or people holding the books and things like that. Where are you getting those additional photos?
A lot of the photos, either I do them with my phone, which is why I keep the nice little background. Some we have a photographer, and some they are AI made, to be honest. It's giving ChatGPT your book cover and say, hey, I want it in this landscape. Can you create that for me? And it works.
Okay. My second question is for ads on TikTok, or I guess your shop account, like what kind of content works best?
All of them.
All of them?
So with TikTok, you just have to create. The part of TikTok, I'm warning people most of the time, is that it's a content engine. You have to put more. So Kristen had the question earlier, is that her TikTok is not spending the money on the ads. It's not. It's gonna take its time. If it notices there's not enough videos, the AI is very particular, and there's no way to bypass the AI anymore. I have some forceful way I kind of answer to her, which is like forcing to test new creative or forcing to spend money on certain ads, which I'm starting to see have work. But you want to create all type of videos you flipping with the book, videos of you buying the book. People love the idea with TikTok and what social media is going. They're no longer trusting like a random brand. They want to know what you're doing behind there, what is happening. I've gotten more, my most popular video, one is an influencer displaying the book, is because they trust the influencer. They're like, she's not selling it, she's telling you about it. Someone else is the main character, I mean, the main person behind the product. But the other part is I have ads where I'm just showing I'm signing and like, here's what this book can help you with. These are make it feel natural. Like make it feel like, okay, yes, I have something for you. Are you interested? Will you buy it? That's the type of feel.
Okay.
How pretty it is. A lot of fiction authors are tearing up this. I have this, oh my God, it looks amazing. It's got this back cover and stuff like that. And people are like, I'll buy it. What's in there? It's cute.
I know I need to get some special editions made because like I want them for myself with my own books, but yeah, I just gotta afford it and get it done.
Part of that, my answer to people has been like, you don't have to start doing all of these things people are doing. If you're not ready for special edition, if TikTok can yield you the most results, the part about TikTok is you have to give influencers money, you have to give influencers content. So, I mean, you got to get content into it. That's why I'm like, okay, it's a good place to start, but you have to be prepared.
Do you have any accounts that are doing well with the content that they're doing that I could like, I don't know, spy on?
I have a few, but most of the people we're helping with TikTok, they're nonfiction, and most of them don't want to create content, which is why they spend a lot of time saying to influencers, they do not. I cannot get him to post for the life of me. And I understand it because I don't like posting. So yeah.
Okay.
Okay. I'm sorry, Matthew. What I wanted to do here is get into it and say one on Klaviyo, how you can actually bring your plan down. So what I did myself, I kind of changed my plan, and you can see, and I changed it by usage, I think. So let's say I'm on the wrong screen. So let's say right here, as you can tell, I'm paying 362. And how many people do you have on it? Well, look at the projection of what it's supposed to be. I'm supposed to be paying $3,000 a month for email. That's still insane. I was paying it consistently, but that's crazy. So instead of going, I think, by active profile, we moved it over to total usage. And when you go to your plan, while you're figuring out how to build the email bundle, you're going to see, I don't know why they're not calling it appreciation discount, but instead, they're blocking me from seeing it. But instead, and you probably have it, or I'm gonna message about it. Instead of saying 290 active profile and I'm going to send 2 million emails, I'm not sending 2 million emails. So what I had them reverted to is say, hey, I'm really going based on the amount of emails that I'm sending, and that's where they're like, okay, we'll adjust it to have it based on this price instead of the amount of active profile that you have, which is $2,900 a month.
You had to custom ask them that. You can't. It's not a drop down thing.
There's supposed to be a drop down plan, but they're automatically doing a bunch of changes on here, which is
Yeah.
not allowing me. But before it would allow me to go back. Maybe what you can mention to the if you message the team, tell them like we see an appreciation discount. Look, I want to use a service. I only want to get billed from the amount of not for the amount of profiles that I have based on the emails that I'm sending. And I'm not sending much, so then it becomes a lot easier.
Okay.
Yeah. Um, and then with Klaviyo, the success is going to be how many of these flows that you have. Again, I'm doing a lot more on TikTok, so my flows aren't necessarily producing, but you want to have like flows that are thanking people, welcoming them, kind of if they purchase. And my goal is to add more video into that. But those are the automated things that will get you results way better than you trying to send email oftentimes. Campaigns will make you money, but flows are supposed to make you consistent money per se. Because soon someone come in, let's say they ordered your first book, you're like, hey, did you know there's an entire bundle? And the trick could be, hey, if you really want to get into all of these stories, here right now, since we haven't packaged your book, we can give you the bundle for 20-30% off. So now they came in to buy one, and you're better off. For you, you have a lot of people who buy the entire stack. Maybe you kind of change the language into audiobook while they're waiting on the stack. Once I send the instructions in the email side, you see more of what it looks like. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Willie did put a message. A second, I tried AutoCAD today, and the results were a bit mixed. AI avatar kept shaking her head first 3 seconds while waiting. What recommend settings? Willie, you're still here. Is Willie still here?
Yeah, I'm still.
So what I do for ads, you cannot see my screen. Let me share my screen. So anytime they have I take an AI avatar. I do not just move them raw in here. What I use personally is Opus Clips. I take it into Opus Clips. Why I like Opus Clips is it has a feature where the AI will automatically check any take out any pauses. So where the final version is a lot
So
different.
I did something weird. I started what I'm calling a breakup cleanse. No stalking, no texting, no pretending I'm okay, just quiet.
Versus ARCADS, if you look, ARCADS, you will see she keep pausing. Like she took a long time to start.
So I did something weird. I started what I'm calling a breakup cleanse. No stalking, no texting, no pretending I'm okay, just quiet, boundaries, healing. And really moving on became part of that routine. Like my morning coffee, but for my peace. It's not dramatic or overnight. It's just small, steady healing that actually sticks. Call it a breakup cleanse.
See, like the pause in for eyes like this, those are all pauses that will happen. And when you create them, but what you can do is come into something like this, and then when you go to edit the video or whatever, you can tell it it's called AI Enhance, and it will remove pauses. So if it recognize any pause, it'll tell you the total here and then remove it. And then filler words, it'll remove those too. So I personally use Opus Clips, but there's cheaper option. Like if you go into Instagram edits thing, you could see wherever the pause happened and cut that off and make it flow naturally. But don't take them wrong.
Yeah, so Pierre, it sounds like that's more for pausing though, but the like it generated the gestures in a very bad way. So it's like shaking its head in the first 3 seconds. And it's like, oh my God, I'm so excited to tell you this while shaking its head. So it definitely won't work in that output. And then secondly, that AI avatar had a laptop. So it started like looking down at the laptop, almost like reading from a script.
Are you, when you created them, are you adding so one, I like getting people that are moving. I'd have to see the video, but the two things that I do is that with clips, and also too, whenever I add, I make my ads, I add the speech in motion.
Yeah, I did that.
Okay, so then that's a AI. You may need to forget someone else.
And are you using 1.0 or are you using the Omniman 1.5?
No, I usually use 1.0.
Yeah. Okay.
I haven't tried a
Same.
one. I will tell you for videos, if you try Sora on here, Sora gave me all these little cool things. I love it. It's a crazy time that whatever I want to create as a human being, I can just make it just whatever. Imagine, Matthew, if you see like displaying the people on a battleground and doing it where when they're watching it, they feel like it's a movie. Like there's so much coming from here that my goal is to build a full-on system to make it happen. But Sandy, good, and I'm leaving to either way, but I hope all of this was useful to you guys as always. My goal is